Так, всем добрый день. Спасибо
All right.
всем, кто
Hi, everybody.
нашел время и дошел до
Thank you all for taking the time and getting to this room. The brothers, right?
Классическая информационная безопасность.
Today we'll be discussing more than conventional infrastructure security. We'll be speaking about application security as well. Some things to focus on there. I'll start with a bit of a spoiler. I'll be throwing some marketing at you as well, as I usually do. Hopefully it'll be less, but that's part of my job description. I'm the commercial director of CodeScoring. Ivan Solomatin is the name. We develop products to ensure security of platforms and apps. I've been in DevSecOps and application security for 6 years now, give or take. Guilty as charged, I'm not an engineer. It's a cloud over my head. I've been meaning to learn some coding, but I have customer meetings, business trips, speeches like this, so not there yet. I wanted to start with some basics. Application security is not just a hot topic. It has C-level positions focusing on this. Developers pay more attention to it, even if there are some frictions still within the community. I just wanted to highlight some trends globally. Then we'll ground this to our own context as well. That's the Gartner curve. Many people still wait for and accept it in Russia as well. I'm looking forward to a similar analytical agency from Russia to collect all the statistics and give you the trends. For now, we take global view. DevSecOps and application security is plateauing, so it's routine, like in BAOps and GCM. There is some attention to API protection. This might be due to marketing hype. Maybe that's due to different integrations between apps. It's a frequent attack vector anyway. We'll focus rather on development of code, third-party libraries, proprietary development, things like that. Small detail, we have a treasure trove of information on Telegram. We don't have international agencies. I'm not giving you the name, that's not my channel either. So, AppSec is on the rise. Fintech companies are looking into this. State-owned corporations are looking into this. At least they're tracking the statistics. And that's the person who never mentioned this before. Now this year, there is a bunch of posts, apparently. We got our load of hype as well. Let's start talking practice. And this is drawing from the community, software for application security. There are a lot of attacks targeting supply chains. A lot of vulnerabilities are exploited within the realm of transitory dependencies, third-party components. There is more vulnerabilities that are exploited within updates that are delivered to somewhere within the infrastructure. Mostly people blame developers or testers, but this usually has to do with vulnerable components that are being used.
Why does it break down? Why may it happen this way? First of all, automation everywhere. There have been a lot of mottos about this, but it hasn't happened. People have just mentioned the policy as a code and the infrastructure as a code. It's kind of a fuss. It's all over the place, but it's not being utilized. However, every person can code, an accountant can code in one C accounting system in order to download some reports. So there are a lot lot of cases like this. Second is discussions between information security people and developers. The checklist that information security people demand from developers and executing some tasks, they usually leave this out. They miss it. This is when there are some tasks in Confluence and in Jira, but currently we're migrating to locally produced software, Kaizen or Eva Team. I don't know whether the others available. So there's something get omitted here as well, and the process breaks down. People try to do what depends on them, and as a result, there's a fuss and confusion about the model that is always considered safety and security at the end of every cycle. We keep on thinking about security only at the deployment stage, but it's not right. We should also consider it at other stages. If you remember marketing mottos and approaches to methodology, security at champions. For some reason on Headhunter, I have never seen people recruiting security champion. They're usually looking for a DevOps or a security guy or security engineer. And in the end of this speech about things breaking down, I wanted to highlight the story with response. The SOC centers that always get engaged, private SOC centers as well, sometimes do not respond timely to what happens in the corner of development. They don't even have access there, and even internet is not available there, as we know. This is why, again, we are monitoring third-party components and we're paying attention to them. If we go industry to industry, the most noticeable story is banking, of course. This is the most sensitive apps for users. And in case if we notice something in the bank, in case if our app doesn't work, or in case if we're not able to pay our bills, or in case if we cannot get a bank statement because we're going on vacation, we will be irritated. We will not be happy as a user. This is why banking services or fraud department in banking services have a high responsibility. Second, industry, retail, they need, and it's important for them, who needs it? Production, delivery, mining, resources, some logistics that works around mining industry and selling and processing of mine extraction industry. It's important to monitor how contractors are working, where data go, particularly the sensitive data, where do they go. Also, we should not forget how the code is done for sub-databases. And here we're getting back to the theory that we need to prevent it and look at it before deployment. And so what's the use of it? I think it's very clear. First of all, you know in advance what's happening in terms of the security contour. Security people try to get a better understanding in their area of responsibility. Second, if we talk about product security and safety, it's great that some product security managers are out there now. They're monitoring security of the product exactly, and they're monitoring every release, every version rolled out by the product. These are people who have KPIs dedicated to this. It's usually in an inflated enterprise. I'd like to see it into your segments, but the tendency is there, and it's good. Automation, let me say once again, people are usually looking for a person or an expert who already knows how to write scripts, who knows how to code, who can work on Python and uses other coding systems. Version control is very important as well. About what's next? If you more or less understand which parts of the product are secure enough and you're responsible for that, and if you are in dialogue with product manager who comes to you that I will produce this and this feature, I know how to do that, and the information security person will ask a question, how is it secure? Why is it secure? What are you going to do to make it secure? The landscape of threats, the landscape of safety or security will be more or less clear, and you will be able to build your strategy of product development. In case if we switch to stages, from the point when the developer switches on the computer and gets to IDE and he starts coding something, here we can see that developer can use some plugins for testing and for verifications. Some businesses are already using this as a standard of development. This is why We also have developers with a background in information security. Also CI/CD conveyor end-to-end at stages of build, of pre-build. So before you get into deploy stage, at this point you check the binaries, and this lays you do composite analysis of the requirements. You verify the third-party components that were used. Since I am here on behalf of a company that's responsible for a product related to verification and testing of third-party components, of course, there will be static analysis. And then at the stage of post-release, most likely you monitor dynamics and you verify and check mobile apps. If we talk about vendor, a little bit of advertising once again. As far as I remember, organizers allowed some advertising. For more than 5 years, more than 6 years, we've had a product. It's quite well known in Russia among experts. It's not the first. It's one of the first companies that started building local SEOs. We're the first ones who have this engine. All the expertise of the company comes from audit. It's originated from audit and third-party check of third-party code, third-party components of code. So currently we are sharing our en masse our data with our partners, and we're actively investing in the writing requirements, writing GOST specifications and rules. And Stack has recognized our expertise many times. We have 4 speeches at PhDs this year, more technical than this one. So if you have time, you're welcome to drop in. Why do we focus on third-party components and their verification? I have never seen a developer who would write all the software himself without using any third-party components. Based on all the reports, based on the information that we collected when we do survey about customers, about 70 or 80% of software is based on some well-known libraries, and they just get processed, they get a little bit adjusted, fine-tuned. The code base gets adjusted, and then it goes into production. Things that are done from scratch, well, it accounts 20 or 30% in this range, and it needs to be verified as well. But Sam Smith writing something or Vasily Ivanov writing something, you're not responsible for this. But once it's in Contour and you're going to roll this out, then this is your responsibility as well, and you may be punished if you do not verify it. This is why we got a task to write a good product to code, a good product that will be really applicable, that will be good at all the features and moments of interactions, the current one, the extended ones, the 20th tier of response, intercountability. I can also sink in these details along the way, so let's move on. About OSCA, these components are invincible, and they're used to or open components and to block the things that you are pulling into the contour. So this is a firewall. If we talk about integration overall, then these products must be compatible with all the monitoring systems that are within the contour. They must not make overload DevOps at the conveyor. They must feed information to a security conveyor and to static. So all the tools that I use to make the app secure. If we switch to post-release stage, then oftentimes people usually forget that OSCA is used not only in local environment and repository. Then you can really monitor the code or something like that, and you can get updated data that you will get in SOC or in Product Security Manager, and they will be monitoring this and then it will be very easy to use it. Options of implementation and deployment. We have already discussed OSA and SCA. We have discussed defense from MEL packages, finding interdependencies, an opportunity to follow the path of a certain library. And it's very important in case you have a vulnerability, if you've detected a new vulnerability, or in case if you want to check whether this vulnerability is defended. We're waiting for the next version when SCA gives information to static whether this vulnerability can be secured, and this is how we're going to prove whether it's critical or not. If we talk about open source components, then here what's important is that vendor or integrator who ensures the process must have a comprehensive full database, the database that he pulls all the vulnerabilities from, how he reviews it. So we are trying to work on it together with all vendors. We're updating the feed base and we're using it in our product. Aside from that, it's not often mentioned, but the mic, does it work?
Заработал отлично.
Yeah, it works. Great.
Микрофон отключился, прошу прощения.
Just mic switched off. We also need to check the quality of code. It's not that relevant to information security, but it's the regular tools that are used by developers in order to check what's the quality of syntax, whether all symbols are right, and whether the command will work. We have this as well. We can verify this. We are promoting it rather in terms of checking what managers can verify and check. In case a software developer at some point is on a leave and the project is underway, and you need to understand what stack he was using and what were the hard parts and how to find him fast, this is why we use it. And checking secrets, it's an inevitable factor of information security. We can't forget anything in the code in terms of the convenience of writing, the passwords, or some additional logs and things like that. So secret must be verified and adapted to what's used. About integrations and applications inside the infrastructure, the key job is to make sure that it works smooth. As it has been mentioned many times, every node and every line, every facade must work in a stable manner and provide the data that it should provide. So we're trying to our best to work with repository managers, both Russian and foreign managers. We keep on testing installations with new products because many companies are building some software in-house, and we notice a lot of that in banking and industry because they believe that it's easier to build in-house rather than buy some product elsewhere. They believe it will be better for the tasks that they are developing it for. Development environment, we're trying to cover it with OpenIDEA and Eclipse, VS Code, and IntelliJ IDEA. The place where developers are working, where the work desk is, we're trying our best to do it there, and we're covering their needs at the very early stage. This shift to the left, we're moving towards the shift to the left gradually. When we'll see where is that the great radiant new world of safe and secure software development. Colleagues often speak on technical matters. 2 or 3 people in our people out of 50 are commercial people and accountancy, and all the other people are engineers, data science, coders, information security people. So we are still a technological company, and I hope it will not change in the nearest time. So let me draw your attention to their speeches, and they really know a lot about Python, and not only Python. In case if some of you will stay at Luzhniki for these 3 days, we have our meeting rooms. Technological companies are going to be in this color. Please drop by. We'll be happy to catch up. And thank you for your attention.